Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, as per now, we have got 70 attendees. We can start the proceedings, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this today's webinar. And on behalf of India Drone Academy and Constructor Skill Development Council, welcome you all and appreciate your interest. Each and of you are interested in exploring the drone technology. And as always, today's agenda is pre-construction site review and planning with the drones. That is our today's agenda. And according to the Constructor Skill Development Council, they have found that the construction industry in India has been rapidly growing in the recent past years, driven by the increase in the infrastructure investments and as rapid urbanization. So the construction industry is the second largest employer in India. Please make note of this one. Construction industry is the second largest employer in India. So that means now by 2025, the India construction industry is expected to be third largest in the world with a total size of $1.4 trillion US. That is the expectation of growth in India. So construction operators now they plan and they are prioritizing digitalization. It will be totally a data-driven market actually. So that growing demand for digital skilling, even by the micro contractors and workers. So drones are one of the key elements in generating data from the very resources within the construction as well as the project sites. So with a small brief introduction, I would like to invite Mr. Sumit Krishnan. He's our trainer and tutor. He's with aerospace background. And he's very much experienced and teaches the approved drone technologies, I can say. And please, Sumit, please take over. You can start the session.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot for handing the session to me. I hope my voice is audible.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay, sir. I'll just share my screen and please, I request your confirmation if it's visible.
Yeah. Okay. The sharing now? Yeah. Oh.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it is usable now. Yeah, clear.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for the confirmation.
Please continue.
A very good afternoon to one and all. This is Sumit Krishnan, and I personally welcome each one of you to this technical session of second webinar under this series, which is on pre-construction site review and planning with drones. So this is the follow-up after the first webinar, where we have discussed about introduction to the drones and how much it is useful for construction industries. So let's learn about the pre-construction site review of construction projects and how the drones can be beneficial for engineers. We shall begin this journey through the current topic with a short introduction to pre-construction site review. I feel this brief introduction to pre-construction site review will help our participants to understand and connect with the topic. Then we will move on to learn about what is the level of usage of drones through different phases of construction projects and what is the current trend. I tried including a very recent data from the survey done among various companies who were the construction companies, and through this data we will understand what is the current level of usage. Then we will also discuss why these drones are ideal for a site review purpose. Next, we will learn about the drone technologies which you need for conducting the site assessment. And last but not least, we will discuss the entire process which is involved in site review and planning using drones. Construction site review and planning refers to an assessment process conducted before the commencement of construction projects. So this pre-construction site review and planning is basically an assessment process done before the construction starts. Among various phases of construction projects, there is a phase known as site review and planning. And here this site review and planning is also referred as pre-construction phase. And this is the initial phase. This phase involves evaluating the physical and environmental conditions of a site for project planning and decision making. Now, why do we need evaluation of physical and environmental conditions of a site? Or what are those physical and environmental factors that affects the construction? There, this site's characteristics, physical and environmental, affects two things in a construction project. And those two important things are, one is the cost estimation of the project, and it also impacts the scheduling of the construction work. So the evaluation of physical and environmental conditions of the site becomes necessary. Through physical conditions, we mean a construction engineer would like to know what is the type of soil where they are planning a construction, what is the topography of the land, what is the elevation, what is the contours of the land, which are those neighboring structures near the construction site, because these all things together will impact the construction work. If we know these all physical conditions right before starting the construction work, we can plan our project in a very better way. Because once the construction starts, there is always a need to get the raw materials for construction. Suppose if physical conditions are not healthy near the site, or if it is not favorable, of course, the proximity to raw materials becomes very far from you. Similarly, environmental conditions also impacts this construction, and it also requires evaluation. Like, what is the weather condition? What is the temperature pattern over the construction site land? If there is any water body around the site, that also required to be well assessed, because every construction project generates a waste, right? And proper handling of that waste is very important. Otherwise, we would be polluting the environment during construction. So a well-posed waste management plan must be developed before the construction starts. And these all things can only be drafted in a right way when we know all these conditions of the site. This is why this pre-construction site review becomes very important. This phase is critical, as I already told you. It identifies the related problems around the sites, and also it helps in the cost estimation. The information which the site analyst, or you can say the construction engineer, collects in this phase helps the entire team to understand whether the project is feasible or not. It helps them to create the plan and also make a schedule for different phases of construction. Let us not talk about the involvement of drones in this construction projects. The use of drone technology for the site review and monitoring is day by day increasing in the construction industry. There are trends which includes an examples of integration of drones with BIM and GIS as well. BIM stands for Building Information Modeling, and GIS stands for Geographic Information System. Because there is a continuous advancements in the drone technology, whether we talk about the hardware or the software of the drones, their capabilities are daily increasing for further use. Please look at this chart on your screen. This chart includes the data which is collected from various construction companies. And this chart data is the result of a survey where different construction companies can be seen using drones at different phases of construction. Among 60 companies, 55 have reported that they are using the drones for the progress tracking of their work, that we can say as construction monitoring. For construction monitoring, almost 55 companies out of 60 are using it. The data also shows many of them are using it to create promotional videos for their construction site for advertisement purpose. There is also a good number of companies who are using the drones for visual inspections during the construction work, for site management, and for surveying purpose as well. If we will have a look at some other capabilities of the drones in construction, many companies have used it for 3D building model construction, for security monitoring purpose, for volumetric survey purpose, for photogrammetry purpose, and for documentation purpose as well. So this data can help us to have an overview of drone applications at a different phases of construction. Let's have a look at this video to have little more clarity.
Oh, no.
In the best billion that you thought that into all
As you
that's an office to talk and going to deliver out out of
run on the bus, to go stand for this for free.
Doctor Asim.
This was a short glimpse to the adoption of drones by construction industries. Let's now talk about why drones are ideal for site review purpose. And believe me, there are many reasons behind it. One is drones allows suitable site selection. It gives a comprehensive overview of a site. And this overview, which you get from the drone, is not possible by any other means. The drones also helps in the assessment of site characteristics and issues. As we were talking in the previous slides, that in pre-construction site review, assessment of site characteristics like physical and environmental are very important. And the drones can help you in better assessment of these site characteristics so that you can know the issues in early stages before the commencement of construction. After this assessment of site characteristics, one can evaluate the factors such as what is the level of accessibility to the site, which are those neighboring infrastructures that shares the same ambience with your construction site as they are going to impact its functioning, and also the environmental factors. After all these analysis of factors, the drones allows the construction project engineers to take the right decisions. Because after this analysis, they can easily understand whether the site meets their requirements or not. Then only they will proceed with their planning and work. The second important benefit of using drones for site review is cost saving. Drones are cost saving there. Before the drone technology, gathering aerial data was very tough and expensive task, especially for large and challenging terrains, compared to on-foot data collection methods or through any manned aerial vehicles like helicopters. So construction sites won't be using the helicopters to collect the aerial data, of course, because it is very expensive. So, but the drones allows all these impossible things are now possible. Whether the terrain of your construction site is irregular or very large, doesn't matter. Drone can cover and execute the survey for site assessment for a very large acres of land, which of course very much time taking and difficult for somebody who wants to do it on foot data collection. Now drones can perform a quick survey of a site in less time and at a cheaper cost than ever before. Many times the business owners, the industrialists ask, what is the return after this investment on drones, let's say. So there is a very important answer to them. It's almost 2 or 3 times cheaper than using terrestrial products for the same work. Next important benefit of using drone for site review is faster decisions and optimizing the project timelines. Drones can provide you instant and updated site views. They carry the telemetry device with them and some other important sensors, which can deliver a real-time live video feeds to the control stations, and this data can be accessed by anyone sitting anywhere on the globe without having visited to the site. So this is one of the important and very nice thing with drones. And this speeds up the overall project work. Last but not least, documentation and reporting has become very simplified because of drones now. In many construction projects, it is the duty of the contractors to execute the site survey and collect all the information of the site before construction. These drones can make their task very easy because through photos and videos, they can develop a very comprehensive report of their site. Let us learn about the drone technologies we need for site assessment. First of all, a drone is required, which is also referred as UAV. We have already learned about the difference between the drone and UAV in the previous webinar session. So you need a UAV or a drone. This drone type depends upon many factors, like what is your budget, what are your preferences, what quality of data you need. So there are many factors that defines the selection of available drones in the market. You can choose depending upon your budget. Mostly quadcopters are used when compared to fixed wing because of their lower cost and easy operational feature. Can be very easily operated. Next, you need a payload that which is the extra weight that which your drone has to carry in the form of sensors and cameras. These sensors and cameras may be the RGB camera, maybe a thermal sensor camera, maybe multispectral camera, or it may be a lidar sensor as well. So these sensors will have to collect the data of the site for mapping purpose. And last, you need a mapping software. There are many mapping softwares. You can scroll over the internet. I don't want to specifically name each of them. So with the help of these mapping softwares, you can transform the entire data collected by your drone into a very easy to visualize 3D model of your construction site. Let's talk about the pre-construction site review process using drones. This pre-construction site review process, first of all comes the permissions, then flight planning and safety measures, then the data collection stage, next to it, the data processing stage, and finally, analysis and reporting stage. So what do we mean by permissions? Before you start the pre-construction site review with your drone, and before you leave your office to the field, make sure that you have taken the necessary licenses and permissions for the drone use. Drones cannot be operated by just anyone in India now, because DGCA has mandated that anyone who operates the drone should have a license to operate it, which we call it as RPC, Remote Pilot Certification from the DGCA. So make sure you have necessary license with you, and you should also make sure the construction site where you want to use your drone, it should not be in a red zone. the DGCA has divided the airspace of India into red zone, yellow zone, and green zone. If your construction site is in the green zone, then only you should proceed using drones for your construction. How you can check if your construction site is a part of green zone or not? You may be sometimes this doubt may be rising in your mind. It's very simple. There is a website from DGCA, Digital Sky Platform website. Just go to the Google. There is an option airspace map. Under airspace map, you can find if your location is a part of red zone, yellow zone, or green zone. So in red zone, you cannot fly. It is prohibited. In green zone, you can fly up to maximum height of 200 feet. Sorry, maximum height of 400 feet. And if it is a yellow zone, then you have to ensure that yellow zone is not an inner yellow zone. Because in inner yellow zone, you cannot fly, but in outer yellow zone, you can fly. So these all things are very well easily visible on the airspace map on Digital Sky website. So after this, you must also ensure that your drone is an insured drone. You have taken an insurance for your drone. Because when you are using your drone, drones may sometimes accidentally damage the property around the construction site, or maybe property of the construction site itself, or it may sometimes damage the workers who are working there, the laborers. These propeller blades of drones should not be underestimated. These are the carbon fiber blades, and it can give a very deep injuries if accidentally it hits your skin. Ultimately, whether your drone is a small drone or a big drone, ultimately it is an aircraft. So you have to follow these rules and regulations of DGCA, because now DGCA has taken the complete charge and responsibility for the responsible usage of drones in India. Next, to obtaining this necessary licenses and permissions and the insurance, you can go for flight planning. You go to your site and execute the flight planning. For flight planning, you must first fix your takeoff and landing locations in the construction site. Before you fly your drone, there is a pre-flight checklist which every drone pilot has to follow. And in that pre-flight checklist, one important check is checking of weather information. So you must ensure there is no rain, there is no strong winds, and there is no fog in that area. Because you cannot compromise with the safety of the drone operation. After you have taken care of weather and setting up the takeoff and landing locations, or setting up the home points, because these setting up the home points in the ground control software, your remote control, will help you to take care of your drone during emergency situations. Your drone will be capable of returning back autonomously to the home point which was set by you prior to flight. This is why I'm giving a strong emphasis on this flight planning importance. One other important pre-flight checklist is checking of battery before you fly. The drone battery should be 100%. Your ground control system device should also be 100% in its battery capacity. So what is the ground control system? I mean, it may be the laptop which you are using for mission planning, or maybe, and also your remote control, because that is also battery operated. Why I'm saying this? Because sometimes if the remote battery goes off, you will suddenly lose the communication with your drone, and which may result into the situation of emergency at the site. It will damage your very costly drone, let me tell you. These are very sophisticated devices and it requires a lot of care. And you should also be ready with the emergency plan. In case, if you lose the control on your drone, how you can procure your drone back safely. So that emergency plan also you should be ready with. You must be wondering, sir, how we can, what kind of emergency plan we may have for such conditions. My dear, this is a part of training. I cannot tell you in detail about each and every point in this 1 hour of webinar. And this is why we DGC authorized remote pilot training organizations are training the candidates to have all these things in their mind. We train the people what a drone pilot should do under the emergency situation so that the damages can be minimized. And next is the data collection phase. In this data collection phase, the images of the construction site is to be captured. So you'll be required to record the videos. The images of construction site and recording of the videos are not just like capturing the photos from the ground cameras. When you capture the videos of the construction site, there are some special skills required, like how you have to cover the entire 360 panorama view of the site, and how you should cover the entire environment with every detail location of the objects on the ground. These all things has to be captured, collected in the form of data. Because if the data collection is not done accurately, your mapping software will not give you the result which you want. So data collection is to be done with lot of accuracy and lot of care, and there are certain guidelines to it. You can use GCPs also during the data collection. GCP means ground control points. These ground control points help you during the data processing stage to enhance and increase the accuracy of the location of the geotagged images of your drone. So what happens is every pic which the drone takes is not just a pic. That pic of a site contains the latitudes and longitudes of that location. And this is why how finally a mapping software can give you a very accurate, exact replica of the 3D model for assessment. So the ground control points are helpful in that stage. Real-time data streaming. Sometimes the construction engineers, civil engineers may require are real-time data for visualization purpose, so that at the same moment they can guide the drone pilot to take and cover the view which may be missed by him. So this opportunity also drone gives during this site assessment or survey process. Let's talk about data processing. Data processing is about taking your drone data to a mapping software. Your mapping software may use the photogrammetry methods or may use 3D point cloud method to stitch the data collected from your drone. And this is basically an automated process. You need not to do anything. You will just feed the data, entire data from your drone to the software, and you have to just give some simple inputs. Rest, the software will take care. And if you are supplementing your data with GCP point data as well, it can give you a very accurate 3D model or a map of your construction site. And the result which you get after this data processing is very, very accurate, very accurate. Without visiting that site, just on your computer screen, you can execute the measurements of important things of your site. Because a construction engineer knows the importance of earthwork. This earthwork is required to be done prior to the construction, where you prepare the land. You remove the top layer of the soil. You have to remove the top layer of the soil. You have to remove the bushes. You have to remove the vegetation. You have to prepare the site for construction. So how much amount of earthwork is required to be done? That this drone data can very accurately help you calculate that. One of the important technique is volumetric technique, where your volumetric measurements are done. So these softwares can get you these values, which is very time-taking and difficult also when you try to do it without drones. I've shown you the data. There are so many companies who have started using drones. And believe me, in very next few years, the construction companies will fall behind the required standards if they will not use these drones in their construction projects. Because these drones are now enhancing the entire phases of construction. And the industries or the engineers who do not have knowledge about it, who will just keep on going with the old methods, they will definitely fall behind the required standards. So I hope that this topic of pre-construction, site review and planning using drones has helped you to gain insight into how these drones can be helpful to you during pre-construction phase of the project. We have discussed about many important things, like which are those technologies you need, why the drones are ideal for site reviewing, and we have discussed which are those permissions required to use drones for your construction work. We have also discussed about the importance of having a certification if you want to use it legally. And please take care, if your construction site is a part of red zone, never try to use it. Never try to use it. Because once if somebody catches you, it can put you in a very severe penalty and problem. That is a crime actually. So with this, I would like to conclude this presentation, and last, I would like to show you a glimpse of our India Drone Academy training highlights.
Hello and welcome to India Drone Academy, an innovative training program designed to help individuals and organizations learn how to operate drones effectively and safely. To become one of the premier and largest drone training academy, drone manufacturer in India, and create a network of drone pilots and entrepreneurs across India. Industry overview globally. The drone analytics market is estimated to be valued at US $2.1 billion in 2022 and is projected to reach $6.5 billion by 2027. According to Frost & Sullivan, drone usage in India within the agriculture market will grow at 38.5%. Changing face of Indian aviation industry. Liberalized new drone policy, 2021. Production-linked incentive scheme, ELI. The Kisan drones. PM Svarmika Yojana. Our business model.
So, thank you all for your patience listening. And sir, may I request you to please take over the session and proceed with the...
Yeah, 1 second, Suvit. Hello, everyone. If you have any kind of question and answers, you can kindly drop an email to the concerned mail ID, and definitely we'll get back to you as early as possible. And thanks, Mr. Suvit, for our overall presentation is excellent about this pre-construction reviews and all. And I would like to invite Mr. Navi. Can you conclude the webinar today?
Yeah, sir. So, dear participants, we are posting our third webinar link also on the question and answer box. So, please register in this and make use of the other upcoming webinar also. So, this might make you to be continuously enhanced with this webinar.
And please share the email ID so that they can drop the questions whatever they want.
Yes, I'm doing. I'm sharing as well as the link also for that webinar.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. And catch you in... Yeah. So we catch everybody. Can please attend next seminar result. Okay. Thank you very much.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Thanks to all the participants.